Fede Alvarez. Now, when I say that name, first off, I have absolutely no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I do the best I can. Uh, Second, welcome to the DragonFly Theater YouTube edition. I am your host, as always, Kevin, and today we are going to be talking about the career of Fede Alvarez and leading up to his next big film called Don't Breathe, which I was lucky enough to get a special screening on a few days ago. And I'll talk about that. I'll talk about Evil Dead. I'll talk about some of his short films that ended up on YouTube and what those videos did for him and his career. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the DragonFly Theater. I am Kevin. I am your host, and let's get started. In 2009, Fede released a video on YouTube called Panic Attack, co-written with his good buddy Roto. Now, after this, like I said, people saw it, people called him, wanted him to come out to Hollywood, and the rest is history. But before all of this, he had made quite a number of other little short films, including Los Pasillos, El Último Alivere, and El Cojonudo, which translates to Mr. Balls. If you haven't seen Mr. Balls, go, and I'll do all the links of the short films that I'm talking about tonight in the descriptions. So, I gotta say that Fede is really the new way of horror. He is what horror should be. From watching Panic Attack, and especially with a film like Evil Dead, the remake Evil Dead that came out in 2013, you can really sense a style of who he is and what kind of filmmaker he is. A lot of tension and a lot of payoff. And I think that's what great horror really is. It's the build up and the payoff. And Evil Dead, the remake, gave it to us in abundance. There was a lot of mini build-ups to explosive payoffs, if you will. And you can really see that not only in a lot of his short films, but now also in Don't Breathe. Like I said, I got to go and I got to see a little sneak peek of Don't Breathe, which I'm going to talk about. But I want to talk about Evil Dead first. Now, I am a huge Evil Dead fan, as you can see. And when I first heard that they were going to make an Evil Dead remake, I was a little unsure. But when I heard that Sam Raimi, Rob Tapert, and Bruce Campbell were going to oversee this remake, I felt a little bit better. I felt a lot better, actually. And once the trailers started to come out, once I started to hear a lot of the rumblings from people, I was very well at ease. I went to go see that film in the theater, and it blew the fucking roof off of that theater for me. I thought it was a great remake. It's one of the greatest remakes of a horror film in a time where a lot of remakes were coming along and they were not delivering. Evil Dead, it delivered. It did everything that it should have. What Evil Dead did was it took elements from Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 and it incorporated them into this remake. And I think the Evil Dead remake went above and beyond my expectations. Hopefully it went beyond your expectations as well. It was bloody, it was gruesome, it was horrific. It was beautiful to look at from a directorial standpoint, from a cinematographer standpoint, this film, Evil Dead Remake, was really, really good. Okay, so we fast forward 3 years to Don't Breathe, which is going to be coming out next week, October or August 26th, 27th, and I got to see an advanced screening of it. Now, lucky for me, and lucky for my wife who joined me, the director, Fede Alvarez, was there doing a little Q&A. And who should happen to show up and conduct this Q&A but none other than Robert Rodriguez, Austin's own Robert Rodriguez. He's got some guns, man. He's pumping some iron and he's looking good. Robert, I want to know your secrets, bud. So I'm there. I got Robert and Fede sitting right behind me watching an advanced screening of Don't Breathe. And really, when I was watching it, and I felt like I was watching Evil Dead, but without all the supernatural elements and a lot of the gore. You take that out, and that's what you have with Don't Breathe. You have tension, and you have these people trying to survive, basically. And Jane Levy, who was in Evil Dead, she played Mia. She's also in Don't Breathe, and she plays Rocky. And she has become, hopefully, a Fede regular, because I really like Jane Levy. I think she's obviously a woman who can go through the paces of a really tough film to get through, because films like Evil Dead and Don't Breathe are very, very hard to make for actors, because there's a lot of action, there's a lot of odd positions that you find yourself in, and for her to be able to do not only Evil Dead but then to do Don't Breathe really shows a lot in what kind of actress she is. Somebody had asked something about Jane Levy and her abilities, and Fede had said, how would Bruce Willis do it in Die Hard? I don't think he ever really thought of her as, this character is really, she's a female character, a male character, whatever. She's just tough, and she's a real action female, and so to look at characters in those ways is really kind of revolutionary if you think about it. To not think of a character as being male or female, but as an ass kicker, or as somebody that can't handle what's going on. It doesn't really matter if they're male or female. It's their actions that speak greater than their gender. I'll leave you with that one. I mentioned before that Fede's friend Roto had co-written Evil Dead with him. He also co-wrote Don't Breathe and Panic Attack. This seems to be a very good writing team in this genre of horror, which I'm very, very excited about. And I don't know if I can get that across enough of how excited I am that Fede has come out and started to do these really great films, and to bring along his writing partner. And it really feels like it's the next wave, the next cusp of horror. And I hope that they continue to do more of the same, yet expand it, elevate with each film, new ideas, new gags, and if you look at a film like Evil Dead, it was a lot of tension, but it was also a lot of violence and a lot of gore. With Don't Breathe, you get all of that tension still, but there's not really that amount of gore and violence that was in Evil Dead, but you don't need it because the writing and the acting are done so well that it heightens everything else. It makes up for that gore and that violence not really being there. And it's the story. You find out a lot about the different characters that you come across. It obviously, hopefully, if you're watching this, you've seen the trailers. You kind of know what's gonna happen, what's going on. That's why I don't like watching trailers because they show too much, and that's why I don't really read critics' reviews because I think critics are. I'm not gonna say what I think about critics, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? And you realize that going through Don't Breathe, you you sort of flip flop on who you're rooting for. I'm not, no spoilers. I'm not going to spoil anything for you because I want you to go to the theater and I want you to go see this film because um, it is a great reminder of why we love horror, why we are horror fans. It's because of films like this and it's because of filmmakers like Fede that we continue to watch horror, why we continue to support indie filmmakers because they are able to create things that still scare us on conscious and on subconscious levels. And I think that when you have a film like Don't Breathe, it taps into a lot of different things. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but it is very high tension. There are twists, there are turns, there's great shots, great music, great acting, and great directing. All right, guys, now I'm trying to get a format for what this YouTube channel is, and with each new episode that I do, see this is on number 2, I think that that format will start to cement as time goes on. Um, Last week, I talked about horror in the short form, YouTube revolutionizing what horror is, and I want to I want to continue that theme. So I'm gonna add links to both Panic Attack and Mr. Balls. I'm not so sure. El Cojones. Um, Hold on, 1 second. El Cojonudo, which translate into Mr. Balls. I'm gonna leave links to those because those are Fide's pre-Evil Dead short films that are really good, and I've watched both of them, and you can really get the sense of who this filmmaker is, and you can really have a sense of this guy is making something that's worth watching. And I'm very, very excited to see what else he's going to do. So please go to those links, go watch his short films. Next week, go watch Don't Breathe when it comes out in your area because it's worth it. It's worth the look, it's worth the watch. It is worth the 5, 10, 15 bucks you got in your pocket. Um, this film deserves to be number 1 at the box office. It is amazing and awesome. It's tension. It's it's very Hitchcockian in some ways because it ramps up the tension. There's moments where every single character is bad. You don't really want to root for anybody, but you have to, and you do because of things that are out of the character's control. I'll just say that. So, with that, go and visit Fide's YouTube channel. Go check out all of his stuff. Go next week. Go check out Don't Breathe. If you're watching this way in the future, then check out Don't Breathe if you already have it. All right, guys. This is the end of the show. I'm sorry to say, but before I let you go, see, last week I did this thing where I opened up a blind box, a horror block blind box. One of these. And I got the Gremlin from Gremlins. So I'm gonna open up this one. I've already taken the wrapper off. I don't know what's inside here, so let's find out together, huh? If you're a parent, you know exactly what a blind box is. My kids love blind boxes. Let's see. Already got the creature from the Black Lagoon. I have Alfred Hitchcock, I have The Fly, and I have the Gremlin from Gremlins. So, hopefully it's not a duplicate. What is it? It is... Oh, man. It's Edward Scissorhands. Ain't he cute? It's pretty awesome. I'm glad it's not a duplicate, and I'm gonna put them up here. So I got my Bub, I got my Frankenstein, I got a bunch of horror stuff. I love collecting horror stuff. I'm gonna do another show, kind of dedicated to my horror posters that I have. I love going to conventions. I love getting my stuff signed. It's like my vacation once a year is to go to meet celebrities and have them sign my posters. So, hopefully, probably in the next couple days, I'm gonna be showing a lot of my posters off because I'm very proud of them. And also tomorrow, I'm gonna be doing a podcast, a fan commentary podcast for Fede Alvarez's Evil Dead. Now, I'm on iTunes, the DragonFly Theater. Go and check me out. You'll know it when you see the logo because it's on everything. Follow me on Facebook. Just look for the DragonFly Theater. You can follow me on Twitter at _DFT. I just started my Instagram account today. So if you want to see me post pictures of bullshit, then go to Instagram and you can see all that. But until next time, pleasant dreams, Gorehounds.